I'm here with rookie P1 jungler MikeYeung after a well-fought series but an unfortunate loss to CLG. How are you feeling about your play after that series?
I feel pretty confident about my play throughout the last 2 games, although there are definitely things that we can work on, like macro, for example, but this is our first half week practicing together with this roster, so it was boundless to happen, and I can only see us moving forward.
Yeah, you guys, despite an 0-2 week, you guys looked significantly stronger than the previous two weeks of P1's play. How was your level in terms of did you have any nerves coming into your first professional games on the big stage, or was it a pretty easy transition for you?
It was actually possibly one of the harder transitions for me compared to the other players. I actually, on the first day, I messed up my mouse sensitivity. I actually got the wrong mouse, and I did not adjust my screen brightness, and it was just a really big mess.
But overall in that series, even though in a loss you ended up having a decent KDA, and today you had some great play as well. How do you manage to bounce back from things like that, like a technical pause or something, and get your head back in the game when you're already dealing with the standard rookie jitters of sorts? Mm-hmm. How do you focus back in after something like that happens so early on in a series?
I think how that works is, since the game is so focus intensive, that you just forget about everything else when you're in the middle of a set, because all you can think about is how to make the next play.
You played today with a roster of Zig in the top lane, Ryu in the mid lane, and then Arrow and Xpecial in the bottom lane. Just absolutely surrounded by veterans. Has that veteran presence in your team's organization and on your starting 5 helped you kind of acclimate a little better than maybe someone who doesn't have those veteran presences?
I believe so, although since we did start off with a rough split, team morale has started off through the split a little bit lower than usual, but now that we've had some good showings in scrims as well as on stage, the morale can only get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there were positives from these losses, right? I think that you guys definitely showed signs of life, and you guys had some convincing victories despite the series losses. How do you find trouble looking at those positives despite the losses, or is it a little easier for you compared to other players since you're really only 0-2 when everyone else is kind of 0-6? Do you think that you coming in fresh has been a positive influence on team morale?
I think that whenever a team incorporates a new player onto their roster, everybody on the team likes to try harder. They want to incorporate more hours in the scrim because it's like a fresh start.
So for people who don't know you, you've been in Challenger since you were 13 years old, and when did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school this Friday.
So this Friday, wow. So you've maintained a high level of play in solo queue for years now, and you've translated very quickly to the professional stage. How does someone balance a high school lifestyle, school, homework, all the extracurricular stuff, and also still maintain such a high level of play across so many years?
I think that there's no way to completely balance it, because every single year I've had to take around a 6-month, 7-month hiatus, and that has really impacted my play near the end of the season. But this season I decided that since after I applied to colleges, it didn't necessarily matter too much if I kept on necessarily getting too high grades, so I tried to maintain a balance, get an A-, around a B in my classes, while starting the season about 2 to 3 months earlier than I usually do, because in past seasons I've started playing usually around this time and up until the school year started again.
So you've incorporated more ramp-up time, so to speak, in terms of how much time you're spending per season as opposed to taking time off for school.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific that you do after these long hiatuses, or when you kind of have to switch gears, that helps you kind of lock in quicker than maybe someone who's had an entire season to kind of grease their engines a little bit?
Yeah, I like to take every single game as something that I can learn from it. So even if it's solo queue, mechanics, stuff like that, a lot of players have trouble admitting their mistakes, but in my mind, when I make a mistake, I consciously think of it in my head.
Like I said before, you've made a very quick transition to the pro stage. For someone looking to go pro straight out of high school like you have, would you have any advice for them or any tips on how to get there?
I think the best thing to do is just to keep a positive mentality going into solo queue, because you can run into a lot of pros there, and just having a really good impression on the pros allows you to get better chances, like better interactions with other teams.
Speaking of good impressions, despite the O2 week, you made quite a good one on the stage here. Is there anything you want to say to the P1 fans as just kind of your welcoming entrance this weekend?
I want to thank all the fans that support me along the way from here on out, because I definitely think that I can improve on stage as well as behind stage when it comes to like my play style, my work ethic. So I'm definitely going to be playing long hours every single day of the week, and I hope I can make a better impression next week.
Final question, Mike. You are the de facto rookie of the split because you are the only rookie, unless somebody else joins the team later in the game and makes a good shows you up basically. Does that have any impact on your mindset going forward? Do you think there are more expectations with that, or are you just playing your game?
I think that the next thing moving forward is to finally get our first win of the split, and that's really all that we have in our mind right now.
It's a good focus. I like it. Thank you so much, MikeYeung, for the interview. For everything else, League of Legends and NALCS, you can go to Halla.com.